Hi guys, James at Bespoke Airsoft here and welcome back to another video. In this one today we're looking at an interesting bolt action from Double Eagle, which is the 700 Pro. So an interesting bolt action here is kind of modelled off like an M700 in like a Magpul style chassis with a folding stock. Loads of cool features on this rifle which are you just bear with me to go through them all. The scope is just something spare we've thrown on there from the workshop, just to give you a bit of a representation of having something on the top there. So I'll just take that off for the moment. This was the same scope I used in the firing demonstration as well. It's not the greatest, it's just something that I found spare in the workshop. I'll set that on there. And then hopefully it'll help me shoot this thing, because obviously shooting a bolt action with no iron sights or anything on the top there is a little bit difficult. But this is a bolt action from Double Eagle. It's very cool looking indeed. The magazine's in the right place. It's got loads of cool features which I'll try and go through now. So straight away you've got a polymer stock here, metal components straight for the receiver and the barrel and such. We've got a nice railed section fitted to the barrel too for mounting any kind of accessories, lasers, cameras for filming your YouTube videos and such like that. Everything on this rifle is reversible to either side, so the bolt handle, the stock, everything can be switched to the other side, so left-handed users out there are going to have a good shot with this as well. A lot of rifles you have to buy those bits separately to sort of get that same feature, and the left-handed shooters out there's not a great deal that you can get out of the box that's ready to go. So moving from front to back, we've got a 14mm counterclockwise thread. That's great because most accessories will go on there, suppressors and bits and pieces like that. You're not going to have to buy an adapter. Moving back, as I've already mentioned, you've got this nice rail section here for putting accessories on top that have a rail fitment. If you don't, you've got plenty of M-lock slots here. You've got loads on the bottom and each side. You get a QD sling point in the front there as well. The hop-up adjustment can be found underneath, which is just a little dial. Good response on that as well. We'll put more into that a little bit later. Moving back, got a spiral fluted cylinder. This comes out the box fitted to right hand, but like I said, you can get this switched over and get it on left hand instead. You've got a 5-pin indicator on the back here, which is nice to show when the gun's live and when it's not, when it's cocked ready to go. You've got safeties which are ambidextrous, can be featured on both sides. Same as the mag release, can be functioning from both sides. Also, the magazine itself is a polymer 50-round magazine. This gun uses a loading tube, much like a lot of the Aries bolt actions and more recently the TAC 41. So you load the magazine up with BBs, you put it in there, you'll hear them push up the loading tube, take the magazine out, and then you can fill that in. The magazine holds 50 rounds, so plenty of ammo there, and you've got a little lever on the inside which you push to release the BBs. You want to make sure you do that because the last thing you want is to load a BB when the magazine's out. Now, we did test this, and with a lot of guns, if you point the rifle at the floor and wrap the bolt, it will load around into the chamber. We loaded the magazine, we put it in there, we took the magazine out, and I couldn't actually get around to feed, so I don't know if it has a feature on there or we were just lucky and it didn't feed one. So as you'll see where the bolt handle is, on the opposite side you've got another QD sling point that you can use. You've got a really vertical style grip here which is really comfortable and easy to use as well. I didn't really feel much need. I think you can adjust this too. So moving back, we've got the folded stock. Now this can be switched to both sides too. If you're switching it to a left-handed user, you press the button on the top, you can fold it round. That's great if you want to package the rifle down and use perhaps like an assault rifle or SMG if you're doing long weekend style games, and just popping that out there. When I did find out the box, I just tightened these screws up a little bit, which took a little bit of the slack out. There is a bit of movement which you could probably get rid of, but just popping a shim in that hinge there, but it's not an awful lot, and it didn't really sort of cause me any gripes when shooting the rifle. On the stock, you've got two modes of adjustment here. So we've got an adjustable cheek riser, which you set that into place, and you've got a little locking wheel here to make sure it doesn't move. So it goes all the way up and all the way down. You've got more QD sling points on both sides, and then you've got the butt pad adjustment, which you just turn this wheel here. And all this stuff is super smooth. There's no like scratchiness or anything in the motion. It's lovely and smooth, which is nothing worse than having an adjustment like that, and then when you turn the wheel it's really scratchy and horrible and you don't want to adjust it. Magazine goes in nice and easy. You've got a 20mm rail on the top there for fitting your optics. And let's get straight to it. Let's chrono this thing and do a range test, because you guys are going to want to know how this thing shoots. It's actually quite surprising. Now, when I first took this out of the box, it was doing about 440 to 450 with no hop-up applied. You'll see that's a little bit higher there in the results I'm going to show you. And I think that's just getting all the working parts moving. Just that air seal might have just improved slightly as we've put a few rounds through it and sort of seated everything in place, putting the magazine through it. But you'll see it was about 470 on a 0.2. When we do apply hop, it does get a little bit faster. That just means that we've got a good air seal in the gun there. So we'll put the chrono results up, 0.2 gram BBs in the mag, and then on the accuracy test I was actually using 0.43 bios. It's just what I had to one side. The 4.3 seemed to flatten out on the max setting on the hop. On this rifle out the box, you could improve this, of course, fitting aftermarket hot rubbers and such. I imagine a lot of VSR style barrels and hot rubbers are going to be acceptable in this platform, but without pulling it apart, I can't guarantee that. So let's get to that. We'll get to the accuracy test. We're at 40 meters straight away. We don't bother with 15 or 30 with bolt actions. There's just no point whatsoever. And we'll see how this thing does. And we've got more M-lock slots there for any like monopods or anything you want to use. I think the grip does come off. So if you want to store some batteries, or the adjustment is in there to change the grip. But let's get straight to it. I'm waffling on now. 0.2 gram BBs in the chrono test, 0.43 gram BBs in the accuracy test, and we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, turn the hopper on slightly, see if we get an increase, which we do, which means we've got a good air seal. There's a flyer. I think that's a couple of mixed in BBs that have been put in that pot to have such a dramatic change like that, so don't pay attention to those. I am all the way back here at 40 metres because honestly there's no point shooting a sniper rifle at 15 or 30 metres. And we're going to see how this thing does. Whack some heavy ammo in there. I believe these are 4.3s, that's just because of they're what I had to hand at the time. So a 0.43 gram BB, a bog standard double eagle 700 Pro. Let's take a first shot and see where it's landing. So I'm just going to aim centre mass of the target. Let's take one more. Click the scope, one click over. Right, centre mass. Just a little bit to the right. Just do a couple of clicks. It's not better. High. Just bear in mind this scope's only been on here about 5 minutes. It's and the scope is literally just a spare one that I found in the workshop, so it'd be nice if you had a nice new one on here, but here's what we got. As you can see, the rifle's nice and accurate. I'm firing from a standing, non-supported position. That target is half the size of a human size. Still going a little bit right, so let's turn the scope over a few clicks. A little bit better. A little bit more predictable now. Let's try and hit the head. Just a bit high. Like I say, I'm unsupported, so I am moving all over the place. A little bit high again. Low. Dancing all around it. There we go. Right, I'm going to go to a crouch position now, so I'm a little bit more stable. So let's see if I can do any a little better. Probably not, because I'm bouncing all over the place. About the same, so standing again just because it's easier for me with my bad knees, but nice and easy. Let's go for a nether region shot. Just to the right. There we go. I think it's actually the scope that's causing me issues, because it seems to be changing it to 0 when I fire. Still going between the legs. Oof. That would have been easy in a thigh. But I tell you what, for a cheaper out-the-box rifle, this is shooting far better than that silverback TAC 41 that I've got, that I still haven't done a review of because it's not firing well. There we go, right in the nuts. Let's go for that head again, see how repeatable these results are. And with a 50 round magazine you've got plenty of ammo. A lot more stable. Yeah, I think the the offshots are me, not the rifle. I'm not the most skilled bolt action user. Just dancing around. I mean, each one of these would be a headshot on an airsoft field. That target is so small. It's about 3 or 4 inches wide. So each one of these shots would be a hit. Out in a game zone, we just try to push the limits of the accuracy test. See, a brand new rifle out the box as well. We'd probably want to put some rounds through it just to make sure the hot rubber's seated properly. But you know, like I say, I'm so much more impressed with this than the TAC 41 out the box. Now we're empty. It's time for a planes flyer, so let's get back in and see what our thoughts are on this. So this rifle is really comfortable to use, and you'll see from the accuracy test there, out the box performance was actually really good. Most users out there are going to swap the hot rubber out for something a little bit more substantial anyway, but the hot rubber there, you could definitely field this in a game straight out the box. This performed, in my experience, better than the Silverback TAC 41, which is, you know, almost double the price of this thing. Out the box, I've had issues with the TAC 41 with QC issues with parts, which have now been fixed. And I've just ordered a few bits for it to get it working, what I think fieldable, and we'll look at the TAC 41 when that's ready. The magazine is really good and nice and easy to use. It's in the right place. Once you've got that BB tube fed up with the some BBs, you do get the full 50 rounds out of this thing, and these are really cheap as well, like $9.99. The gun, you get one magazine including the box with the speed loader. You don't get a scope, but this gun comes in at like $240, $250 retail price. So for what you're paying and what you get in the box, it's very good indeed. Now I just slapped this silly scope. This is probably something bigger than what I would use on there just because it's gargantuous, but it's just something that I found in the workshop that's come off a rifle, or it's been on a rifle and God knows where it's from. Not the best scope. It was losing zero as it was being bashed about and stuff. So that's why we was getting the flyers from left and right. It was the scope, not the rifle. When we were firing this yesterday, we were actually putting rounds through it without a scope on at 40 meters, and we were managing to hit the target every time. So the results you'll get out of that, putting a nicer scope on there, are going to be even better. I'm not the best bolt action user as well, so this rifle will be more capable in, you know, those out there that are more clued up on bolt actions than I am. But it's very nice and comfortable. It's not insanely heavy, even with that stupidly big scope on there. And it was a delight to shoot. I really did enjoy shooting this. And we thought, as we was playing with it yesterday, we got it out, let's do a feature on it, let's post it all up on the web, let's let you guys know how good this rifle is. And of course, let's do a video on it and show you exactly what I've experienced. And, you know, like I say, the only thing I can sort of compare this to experience-wise is the TAC 41, which I've had recently, which again, the rifle's almost double the price of this one, and this out the box shot better, in my personal experience, than that one did. That TAC 41 video will be coming up soon as I get the thing shooting consistently. But I've enjoyed this. It's a really nice rifle, £250 for what you get in the box. You don't have to buy an adapter on the front there. You don't have to buy a nice chassis to put this thing in. It's really there, ready to go. All you got to do, the power's there as well. It's doing 470 out of the box. So right there where you need it. Compatibility wise with parts, I'm not too sure at the moment, but I imagine barrel and hot rubber is going to be very similar to a BSR. Spring, you don't really need to touch it, the power's good. We would need to test the dual output on heavy ammo. And a really good experience shooting this thing. Hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for tuning in.